background in terms of growing up in the organization and understanding everything, the nuances around it, and certainly gives us great perspective. Such great insight as a player, first of all, and I think that's so valuable to an organization like ours, because when you get one of those top 3 to 4 players, certainly it can change your franchise, and it's somebody that you want to continue to build around. It's exciting. It's exciting for our fans and our team.
The Indiana Fever just made a monumental move. Kelly Krauskopf, the architect behind their 2012 championship-winning team, is back as president. But the big question is, can she build a championship-caliber squad around their rising star, Caitlin Clark? Let's break down what this means for the Fever's future. Krauskopf's return is nothing short of a blockbuster. From 2000 to 2018, she transformed the Fever into a powerhouse, drafting WNBA legend Tamika Catchings, and crafting a winning roster that culminated in the unforgettable 2012 championship. Now, she's back in the driver's seat with the goal of recreating that same magic. But the landscape has changed. The Fever have struggled in recent seasons, and the pressure is on to build a winning team around Clark, who has already captured the league's attention. Krauskopf is now tasked with using her past experience and success to lead the franchise back to glory.
You guys saw the news yesterday about Kelly Krauskopf. She's going to be leaving us to go run the Fever again. Super happy for her. She was a huge part of our front office and helping us build our team and run our team from day to day. And definitely going to miss Kelly.
But the court has changed since Krauskopf's last stint. The Fever have struggled in recent seasons, with consistency and success eluding them prior to 2024. Now, the pressure to build a winning team around Caitlin Clark is immense. The rookie phenom has already electrified the WNBA, drawing massive crowds and pushing attendance to historic levels. Averaging over 177,000 fans at home games, the Fever are leading the league in attendance, proof of the excitement Clark brings to the court. However, fan excitement is only part of the equation. Krauskopf must now turn this momentum into on-court success, building a championship-worthy team around Clark. The challenge is real, but the potential is limitless.
Although it didn't end the way we wanted it to end, there was a lot of optimism. There was a lot of enthusiasm.
Krauskopf's leadership could be the key to transforming this surge in popularity into on-court success. The question on everyone's mind: can she construct a championship-caliber team around Clark and bring the trophy back to Indiana?
Background in terms of growing up in the organization and understanding everything, the nuances around it, and certainly gives us great perspective. Such great insight as a player, first of all, and I think that's so valuable to an organization like ours.
Kelly Krauskopf's return to the Indiana Fever as president isn't just a nostalgic callback. It represents a potential game changer for the franchise's future. With her impressive track record of building championship-caliber teams, all eyes are on Krauskopf's next moves. Will she overhaul the coaching staff, reshape the roster, or perhaps do both? The decisions she makes in the coming weeks could be pivotal for Indiana's championship aspirations. Krauskopf's first major decision likely centers around the head coaching position. Christy Sides led the Fever back to the playoffs, but her coaching style has faced scrutiny, particularly regarding defensive strategies. With the Fever's defense ranking as one of the worst in the league, addressing this glaring weakness is essential. Additionally, Sides' rotation strategy has raised eyebrows, often relying heavily on her star players for extended minutes. Krauskopf must consider how Sides manages the game's flow, whether it's skillfully engaging with referees, advocating for her players, or making crucial timeouts to shift momentum. She'll need to weigh the pros and cons of retaining Sides against the potential benefits of bringing in a fresh perspective to address the team's coaching challenges. The stakes are high, and how Krauskopf navigates this critical juncture will have lasting implications for the Fever's success moving forward.
Christy Sides, you are an absolute abomination of a head coach. I can't believe you actually have a job.
On the player personnel front, Kelly Krauskopf's experience as the WNBA's first director of basketball operations gives her a unique edge. She possesses a deep understanding of the intricacies of team building and has a keen eye for talent. While the Fever's roster boasts stars like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, there are still critical gaps to address. One pressing need is to acquire an enforcer, a player who can bring toughness and defensive grit to the court. Krauskopf may need to scour the free agent market or explore trade options to find that missing piece. Additionally, securing a reliable backup for Clark is essential to maintain offensive firepower when the star player needs a breather. Krauskopf's stint with the Indiana Pacers, where she played a key role in constructing a playoff-contending roster, bodes well for her ability to make impactful acquisitions. She has a proven track record of identifying talent that aligns with a team's specific needs and culture. This skill will be invaluable as she aims to complement Clark's electrifying play with the right supporting cast, ultimately shaping the Fever into a competitive force in the league.
You know, this is a new beginning, it's a new start, and you know, I think it's great for our franchise, it's great for our fans, and we're excited to see, you know, who can join us and help us as we continue to move forward and continue to be a great standard in the WNBA.
The upcoming free agency period presents a mix of opportunities and challenges for Kelly Krauskopf. Retaining Kelsey Mitchell, who is set to hit the open market, should be a top priority. Mitchell's return would not only provide much-needed continuity, but also bolster the offensive firepower alongside Caitlin Clark. However, Krauskopf must also weigh potential upgrades at other positions to create a championship-caliber roster. There's growing speculation that Nelissa Smith could be on the trading block, especially given her diminishing role and performance, compounded by the recent controversy surrounding her girlfriend. Krauskopf will need to assess whether Smith aligns with the team's long-term vision, or if her trade value could be leveraged to acquire assets that better complement Clark and the core group. Krauskopf's return has revitalized the Fever fan base, and her commitment to the franchise's future is clear. She stated, "The WNBA and the Fever have always been a part of me, and it is truly a privilege to be asked to return to lead this team at such an unprecedented time in the growth of women's basketball." This underscores her dedication to fostering a winning culture in Indiana as she embarks on this critical journey to reshape the team.
Very excited to start this new chapter in my life and new chapter in my career.
As Kelly Krauskopf steps into her role, the basketball world is buzzing with excitement over her first major moves. Will she go for a complete overhaul of the roster, or will she focus on targeted adjustments to refine the existing framework? The answers to these questions hold significant weight, as they could dramatically alter the Indiana Fever's trajectory and shape Caitlin Clark's next season. Fans and analysts alike are eager to see how Krauskopf will navigate this pivotal moment in the franchise's history. Her decisions will not only impact the team's performance, but also influence the development of Clark, who has quickly become a cornerstone of the franchise. With the stakes this high, Krauskopf's approach will be closely scrutinized as she sets out to build a competitive squad capable of contending for a championship. The future of the Fever, along with Clark's continued growth, hangs in the balance as this new chapter unfolds.
Definitely going to miss Kelly, but also excited for her, and I think she's stepping into a great situation. I think, as we all know, see what the Fever are doing.
Krauskopf's moves could be pivotal in reshaping the Fever's trajectory, but one glaring issue demands immediate attention: the team's defense. Last season, Indiana's defense ranked as the second worst in the league, and addressing this weakness could be crucial to their success moving forward. The question is, can this vulnerability transform into their greatest strength? Krauskopf's proven history of building championship-caliber teams may hold the key to unlocking Indiana's defensive potential. The numbers tell a stark story. The Fever's defensive struggles were a significant roadblock in the previous season. With the second-worst defensive rating in the league, opponents found it alarmingly easy to score, particularly from beyond the arc. This glaring issue not only put immense pressure on the offense, but also turned games into high-scoring shootouts. When the Fever struggled with their shooting, they often found themselves on the losing end. To flip the script, Krauskopf must evaluate the current roster and identify key players who can bring defensive grit and versatility. Strengthening the defense will not only alleviate pressure from the offensive unit, but also foster a winning culture. If Krauskopf can implement strategies to improve the Fever's defensive prowess, it could pave the way for a more balanced team and set the stage for a successful season ahead.
But at the end of the day, it's not about the officiating tonight, for sure. I mean, we're we've got to be better defensively.
Kelly Krauskopf's previous success in building a formidable roster around Tamika Catchings showcased her ability to create effective defensive strategies. Now, with Caitlin Clark as the centerpiece, she faces a similar challenge, constructing a winning defense to complement her star's offensive brilliance. To bolster the Fever's defense, Krauskopf might look to acquire players with strong defensive skills through free agency or trades. She'll be on the hunt for athletes who can establish a defensive identity, players capable of protecting the rim, closing out on shooters, and creating turnovers. Could French Olympic superstar and defensive ace Gabby Williams, currently a free agent from the Seattle Storm, be a potential target? Or perhaps Phoenix Mercury's versatile wing Sophie Cunningham, though a long shot, could swing into the picture. A bolder move could involve targeting the WNBA Defensive Player of the Year, Nafisa Collier, from the Minnesota Lynx. Improving the defense isn't just about stopping opponents. It's about building a system that complements Clark's offensive firepower. A stronger defensive unit would alleviate the pressure on Clark to outscore opponents every night, allowing her to conserve energy, reduce the risk of burnout, and possibly elevate her game to even greater heights. Krauskopf's defensive overhaul might also include a shift in coaching philosophy. The criticism surrounding Christy Side's defensive strategies can't be ignored, and Krauskopf may consider bringing in a defensive specialist to the coaching staff, or even exploring a new head coach with a proven track record of defensive success. It's not just about talent, it's about implementing a system that thrives in high-pressure situations. With her experience in building playoff-ready teams, Krauskopf's next steps could transform Indiana into a defensive powerhouse while setting Clark up for sustained success.
You don't know how to use Caitlin Clark's strengths. You don't know how to play to her weaknesses. You don't know how to draw up a simple out-of-bounds play. You don't know how to calm down muddy waters. You don't know how to call a timeout and relax everybody's emotions. You don't know how to talk to the referees. All you know how to do is wave your arms and defensive slide on the sidelines. And Chrissy Sides, I'm tired of seeing it every single game.
As Kelly Krauskopf begins to implement her vision, fans can expect to see a shift in the Indiana Fever's identity. Much like the 2012 championship team she helped build, the Fever could soon pride themselves on their defensive tenacity. Krauskopf's return signals a potential transformation, where the emphasis will be placed on team defense, better communication on the court, and a renewed focus on fundamentals like boxing out, contesting shots, and closing gaps. The transformation won't happen overnight, but Krauskopf's track record suggests she has the patience and foresight to see it through. She understands that building a championship-caliber defense is a process, one that requires the right personnel, a smart coaching approach, and a system that fosters a cohesive, relentless defensive effort. Krauskopf's experience in crafting championship teams will be crucial as she assembles the pieces necessary to make the Fever a defensively dominant squad once again. This evolution could mark the beginning of a new era for the Fever, where defensive discipline becomes the foundation for success, allowing Caitlin Clark and the team to shine on both ends of the floor.
Relive the magic of the 2012 championship with the 2012 team.
As Kelly Krauskopf assembles her defensive pieces, a pressing question emerges. Can she construct the perfect supporting cast for Caitlin Clark? The answer may lie in a surprising mix of familiar faces and unexpected additions. The Fever's roster is primed for a shakeup, and some fan favorites might find themselves on the trading block. At the core of Indiana's future stands a Fab Four of talent: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. Clark's electric playmaking ability and deep shooting range have already captivated fans and reinvigorated the franchise. Boston, the 2023 #1 overall pick, provides a powerful interior presence, dominating the paint with her rebounding and defensive instincts. Kelsey Mitchell's knack for scoring gives the Fever an offensive weapon who can pressure defenses on every possession, while Lexi Hull's scrappy defense and lights-out three-point shooting round out a promising core. But to take this foundation to the next level, Krauskopf will need to carefully complement Clark's brilliance with the right pieces. Players who can both thrive alongside these stars and elevate the team as a whole. Whether through trades, free agency, or developing current talent, Krauskopf's next moves will be crucial in crafting a roster that maximizes the potential of Indiana's young nucleus. Can she find the right balance between offense and defense to make the Fever true championship contenders?
There's one word that describes Kelsey Mitchell, and that is killer.
She's a pure scorer, the number 2 pick of the 2018 draft, and you know that she's one of the best players at the pro level.
But the fate of the team hangs in the balance. Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever's leading scorer last season with 19.2 points per game, is set to become a free agent. Her offensive firepower perfectly complements Caitlin Clark's game, creating a dynamic backcourt duo that can light up the scoreboard. Kelly Krauskopf faces a critical decision. Will she open the checkbook to retain Mitchell or allocate those resources elsewhere to grab another star player? Meanwhile, the future of another key player, Nalissa Smith, has come into question. Despite starting 37 games last season, Smith's role diminished as the year progressed. Her averages of 10.6 points and 7.1 rebounds per game are solid, but her limited three-point range could hinder her fit in an offense built around Clark's playmaking. Could Krauskopf flip Smith for a player who better suits the team's needs? Then there's Erica Wheeler, the highest-paid player on the roster, making over $400,000, yet often relegated to the bench. When she comes in for Clark, the game slows down, raising questions about her fit. Should Krauskopf consider flipping Wheeler for a veteran presence that complements the starting five and provides a more seamless backup for Clark? The Fever's playoff appearance this season exposed a glaring weakness, a lack of veteran leadership. Against the battle-tested Connecticut Sun, Indiana's youth and inexperience were on full display. Krauskopf, well aware of the value seasoned players bring, is likely to target free agents with playoff pedigrees who can mentor the young core and provide stability in high-pressure moments. Indiana is at a crossroads, and Krauskopf's next moves will be pivotal in shaping the franchise's future. Will she keep the key pieces of the current roster intact or pursue bold changes to push the team to the next level? The Fever's trajectory and Clark's rise hangs in the balance.
And so I think we've positioned ourselves now to take the next step. And it's an exciting time. What will that next step be? Where will we go now? How do we go from 6th to being in the top 4 seeds?
With a significant amount of cap space, Kelly Krauskopf has the financial flexibility to reshape the Indiana Fever's roster. Her priority will be finding players who can thrive off Caitlin Clark's brilliant passing and anchor the team defensively. Shooters who can space the floor and defenders who can lock down the opponent's top scorers will be at the top of her wish list. Imagine the dream lineup Krauskopf could assemble. Clark running the point, flanked by Kelsey Mitchell's scoring punch and a pesky Lexi Hull on the wing. Aaliyah Boston anchoring the paint, paired with a stretch 4 who can knock down threes and switch on defense. This balanced attack would keep opponents guessing and provide Clark with the supporting cast she needs to excel. But roster construction is just one piece of the puzzle. Krauskopf must also evaluate the coaching staff's ability to maximize this talent. While Christy Sides led the team back to the playoffs, her defensive schemes and in-game management drew criticism. Will Krauskopf stick with Sides, bring in new assistants to shore up weaknesses, or make a bold move for a new head coach entirely? The Fever's transformation won't happen overnight. Krauskopf's experience building the 2012 championship team taught her the value of patience and calculated moves. She's likely to take a measured approach, making strategic additions while continuing to develop the young core. As the offseason unfolds, every move Krauskopf makes will be scrutinized. Fans will debate potential trades, free agent signings, and coaching decisions. The pressure to build a contender around Clark is immense, but Krauskopf has thrived in high-stakes situations before. Kelly Krauskopf's return as president of the Indiana Fever marks a pivotal moment for the franchise. Her proven track record of building championship-caliber teams, combined with Caitlin Clark's electrifying talent, sets the stage for an exciting new chapter in Fever history. Krauskopf's experience and strategic vision offer hope for addressing the team's defensive struggles and rounding out a roster capable of competing at the highest level. Her unique perspective, gained from her time with both the Fever and the Indiana Pacers, positions her to make impactful decisions in free agency and potential trades. As Krauskopf steps back into her role, the energy surrounding the Fever is palpable. Fans are eager to see how she will leverage Clark's star power and build a team that can once again contend for WNBA glory. With Krauskopf at the helm, the Fever's journey back to championship contention has officially begun.